Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to That's Football for our watch-along between Wolves and Manchester City. I hope you're all doing very well. Looking forward to this game. Not loads of Premier League games this weekend, but there is some good ones. And let's hope that Manchester City can drop points again against Wolverhampton Wanderers because it would be good for the Premier League. Man City looking very strong with that team. Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva in the front three with not in the front three, in the midfield three, and then Foden, Haaland and Jack Grealish getting a start as well is quite interesting. But that Wolves team on paper ain't too bad. Ain't too bad. I think it's capable. That's for sure. I think it could do something today. But let's go through the Wolves team for you. Sarr in goal. Otto, Collins, Kilman, Altnouri, Nunez, Neves, Moutinho, which is a very good midfield three. And then Guedes, Podence and Neto. I actually quite like this. I mean, there's something about Wolves. They just can't score goals because you look at their squad and it's pretty decent. I mean, they've still got Adama Traore on the bench for them. Semedo's on the bench. Hechan's on the bench. Diego Costa's not ready for whatever reason. And what's his name? Jimenez is... got Martinez on the mind. Jimenez isn't available. But look, Wolves... You'd fancy Man City today. You would fancy Man City today. But I think that I think it'll be a decent game. I don't know why I've got Man City versus Dortmund on there. Let me just change that for you. That's completely my fault. That's why I'm a little bit late actually. In all honesty, having to sort a few things out before. Oh yeah, I can see what I've done there. One minute. Let me just turn that off. I can do this while I'm live. Okay. It's just an editing issue. Let me go and edit. And it's funny how it's got the right colours, but it hasn't got the right team names. So let me go there. Wolves, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Let's publish that, and then let's take it. There we go. That should be a perfect. Yes, that's right. So we've got the right colours and we've got the right teams now, which is fantastic. What's your predictions, Mark? I probably would go Man City 2-0. Obviously, with some good games. Well, I wouldn't say good games. I thought the Fulham game was interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's the second time in a row that Forest have been winning at half time and blown it in the second half to teams that they got promoted with. You'd have to, I mean, I still think they've bought so many good players that surely they will stay up at some point. But they've lost to Bournemouth and Fulham at home, who are two teams that really, if you want to stay up, you've got to be winning those games. So interesting there. And obviously the team sheets will be going round in a minute. Pratam, they'll go round on the carousel. There you go. There's the Wolves team. Obviously all updates as per and the league table. But yeah, I thought, Villa winning against Southampton, another quite crap game, tight, boring Villa. I don't think Gerrard's the right fit for Villa. I don't know what Villa fans think. I mean, look, Talk Sport tonight, 7:30, call Goldbridge, the Mark Goldbridge show. Maybe we've got some Villa fans listening who want to call in and have their say on Gerrard. Is he the right man or is it just a stay of execution? Also, Fulham are looking good. Yeah, I fancy City to win today. I think that team is just very, very good. It might suit a sort of Jack Grealish game here because Wolves obviously play quite compact, so the pace of the game will be quite slow, so it might suit him. But I'd say City might win this. They could win it 3 or 4-0. They might win it 1-0, but I do fancy them to win it quite simply because I think Wolves traditionally and this season are a side that struggle to score goals. They're quite good at stopping goals, but against Man City, it's going to be very, very difficult. And they just don't seem to score enough goals. Haaland is a robot, says Joe. Thanks very much, Joe. We've got the timer ready to go as well. Interesting that Grealish starts just in relation to the Man City bench. It's a who's who of decent players, really, isn't it? Let's have a look at the bench for Manchester City. Kyle Walker, Aki, Gundogan, Ortega, Alvarez, Gomez, Mahrez, Carson, Palmer. So Anthony Taylor's the referee as well. So expect some stupid decision in there at some point. Grealish and Foden, Wolves have a shout. Gonçalo Guedes, first goal. I've always been a big fan of Guedes, Key. Big shout out to everyone last night. I played FIFA. Now, I do play FIFA a lot, but I played FIFA last night. I played against somebody for the first time. and I won 5-2. So I'm thinking about doing this more. Maybe I have to wait for FIFA 23, but I might start playing people, challenges and stuff. It was good fun. Costa's not playing and Costa's not on the bench. I don't know whether anybody in the chat could let us know as to why that is. I presume it might be a fitness thing. But Man City starting the game off here. Time is on the screen just below Man City over there. And you'd expect Man City to have a lot of possession. But that midfield three, I think the cliche, whatever, it's true. Games are won and lost in the midfield. And that midfield three of Rodri, Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne is one of the better midfielders in world football. But that Wolves midfield's not bad. Obviously, I think there's Wolves' mentality is just a little bit, traditional Portuguese, isn't it? Let's keep things tight. But they have got a midfield three in. I really like this Nunez guy they've brought in from Sporting Lisbon, and then you've got Matinho and Neves. But it's an early. Oh, it's 1-0. It's a goal straight away, and it's Jack Grealish. Haaland nearly gets on the end of it, and Jack Grealish does. It's Kevin De Bruyne. And yeah, it's 1-0 already to Manchester City. Delightful cross. And Jack Grealish with a tap in. Many, myself included, saying, what is he doing in this England squad? Well, he scored a goal. He scored a goal straight away here in the first couple of minutes. I don't think Wolves have touched the ball. You've got to say it's a sleepy start for the Wolves. They're in the little dog basket and they're not asleep. And they are asleep. Foden holds it up. De Bruyne with the overlap. The cross is pure world class, and I don't know where the Wolves defenders are. It's almost like they don't want to touch it. It's just very, very simple. 1-0 to Man City inside the first 2 minutes. Lovely cross. Haaland stretches for it. Grealish taps it in off the post, and it's 1-0. Clean goal. Weak defending from Wolves. But it's all about the cross. The cross is absolutely delightful. Dracula's dying from that cross. It was that good from De Bruyne. It's right into the mixer, the danger zone they call it. And no Wolves defender wants to touch it because if they touch it, it could be an OG. You've got to be brave in them situations. But sometimes you just can't. You can't coach that. You can't defend that. I'm looking at the Wolves manager's box there, and I'm like, if I'm the manager of Wolves, I'm really annoyed. But the goal is just. It's perfect. The cross is perfect. I have got Kevin De Bruyne in my fantasy Premier League team as well as Haaland. So how far do England make it in the World Cup, says Tiger Claws. It's a very good start from Man City, this. I've got Nathan Collins in my team as well. I mean, what is he doing there? He goes past 2 Man City players and then passes it back into the danger zone. Wolves need to sort themselves out here. Hopefully Wolves can make a game of this because it's a bad start. A very bad start. But look, Villa got a point against Wolves. Villa got a point against Man City. Newcastle got a point against Man City. We just got to hope that, some of these teams can do it. Because we need them to be a bit vulnerable. Lovely bit of play here. Nice little back heel. Go on, get a shot off. Good shot. Keep hold of it. Good save by Edison. And a corner. That's not bad. That's not bad. Neto. No, it wasn't. It was Guedes. I've got to get used to this. There's so many Portuguese players here. But it was Guedes with the shot. So let me have a look. Guedes is 7. That's because he's off the left. 7 is Neto. 17 is Guedes. Got mixed up there. 17's Guedes, 27 is Nunez, and 7 is Neto. Cross comes in, headed away. It's not over, says Savage. I don't think it's over yet. But if it was at the Etihad, I'd think it was over. What a cross by De Bruyne, though. They've never lost a game since 2021 when they've scored first. That's a rubbish stat. Come on. Like Man United have got a stat of when they're winning at half-time, they've never lost a game in the Premier League at Old Trafford. Right, that goes back to 1990s, yeah? That stat's rubbish. Man City, when they've been winning, haven't lost a game since 2021. Ooh! Ooh, 2021. Bloody hell. Rip up the history books. Another good cross by Foden. Goes out for a corner. That wasn't a good cross by Foden, actually. You can't have a stat from 2021 and get excited about it. I mean, that's rubbish. It's a good stat for Man City, but what I'm saying is, they haven't won it. They haven't lost a game that they've been winning since 2021. Ooh. It's not quite the same as never losing a game at home when you've gone 1-0 up in the Premier League history, is it? They're even trying to buy stats now. That's a foul on the keeper. It's in the back of the net from Rodri, but he's keeper's got both hands on it. It's a foul. Grealish, I mean, look, good goal for Grealish. I liked Grealish at Villa. I don't think he's done particularly well at Man City. And a tap, I would have scored that. That was all about the cross. Great, good finish by Grealish. He hasn't missed the sitter, but it was all about the cross from De Bruyne. It's just so good, so good. You've got to question the line of the Wolves' defence. It's a bit straight. They've almost invited the cross, but Wolves just need to get themselves together here. But yeah, De Bruyne, probably one of the best players in the world consistently for the last few years. Barath says the EPL is slowly becoming a farmers' league. How can it be becoming a farmers' league? I think the Premier League started off really well this season. Liverpool have been beaten and drawn games. Man City have drawn to Villa and Newcastle. So, Man City haven't played any of the traditional top six yet. Everyone says, Man City are going to run away with it, but they've not played anybody yet. They've not. They beat Spurs, didn't they? Did they beat Spurs? That was quite recent, I think. Did they beat Spurs? No, it got postponed, didn't it? It was last week. So they've not played any of the traditional top six yet. Arsenal are top of the league. I don't think this league's... I mean, a farmers' league is the French league in the Bundesliga, isn't it? Let's be honest. This is nothing like that. Man City very dominant here. Nice ball in. Grealish won't pick up on that. It's incredible, says Macarena. De Bruyne he is, yeah. The Bayern Liga, says Johnny. I like Bayern Munich. They're my tip to win the Champions League, but that league, what can you do about it? Gary Neville's talking about American owners. If I was in the Bundesliga, I'd be talking about how you make your league competitive. It's a shame because I do like Bayern Munich, but it's just... How many titles have they won in a row? Is Kevin De Bruyne comparable to Lampard, says Laxman? I think he's better than Lampard, mate. I think De Bruyne is starting to get to that point where he gets into that conversation of, the Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard thing. He is a very, very good player. I didn't necessarily think that probably as recent as last season, but I just think that the consistency is on a different level. Yeah. 10 titles in a row, says Doc. 10 titles in a row. It's crazy, really, isn't it? Right, Wolves just trying to get a bit of a platform here. 1-0 down in the first, basically, minute. Lovely cross by De Bruyne. Tap in for Grealish, and Man City with their dream start. Wolves need to just slow this game down a little bit. The problem is Wolves don't score many goals, do they? How would you set your team up to play City? I think the way that Palace play was quite, Palace have had a lot of success with it, haven't they? You've got to have an out ball. You can't just sit and defend. That's the worst thing you can do. You've got to have an out ball. And I think the best out ball against Man City is something that stretches them on the counter. I know it's a bit boring, but I think you've got to have something on the counter that, whether it's a dribbler or someone with just out and out pace. I think Newcastle are quite a decent team to give Man City problems because you've got Isaac, you've got St. Maximin. Yeah, I think the likes of, I know they've been relegated, but teams like Burnley that are just, Weghorst and Wood and people like that, you're going to struggle. You've got to have an out ball. You've got to defend, you've got to be organised, but you've got to have an out ball. Here's Wolves on the attack. Nunez, nice little ball. Right, they've got men in the box. Terrible first touch. That's terrible from Neto. You can't get into those positions and then just have a bad first touch. Look at this. Terrible first touch. Professional footballer with a bad touch like that. Oh, it's awful. Newcastle European charge, says Joe. And also, did you see Henderson last night? He was shocking. His positioning was shocking and passes out weren't great. Not a word about it, says Barry. I don't rate him, mate. I spoke about it on the United stand this morning. I don't know why he's in the conversation to be Manchester United's goalkeeper. I don't think he should be in the conversation to be Everton's goalkeeper, to be honest. Here's Grealish. Oh, good interception there. Come on, Wolves. Make a game of it. Nice ball to Neto. Now, get your first touch right. Oh, God, he's not knocking sharp. Got Diaz. Skips past one. Oh, and bloody break. Neto needs a bloody tennis racket. Cool. That's a foul right on the edge of the box. Good refereeing by Anthony Taylor. Free kick on the edge of the box for the Wolves, and he's given him a yellow card as well. That was a bit harsh, I think. I don't think this is a yellow card. Let's have a look. It's a bit harsh to give him a yellow card because, to be honest with you... Oh, yeah. He's pulled him back. Mark, in my house you are family. Did you ever think when you started that this would get so big, says M. Parker? Ooh, that's what she said. No, of course I didn't. Of course I didn't. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Watch-alongs this weekend. What am I doing? So we're doing this one tomorrow at 12 o'clock. Arsenal visit Brentford. We're doing that as well. And then I'll do England games next Friday and Monday. So that's the next few watch-alongs on That's Football. FIFA Career Mode highlights are doing really well. Check them out on the channel as well. I've got some more to come. I don't know when I'm going to put them up, actually. I might try and do it later on today. But yeah, make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Of course, tonight, 7:30 on TalkSport, it's called Goldbridge. Free kick goes into the wall, goes out for a corner. Yep, it'll be live on the TalkSport YouTube channel and live on National Radio as well. Mark Goldbridge show, where you can call in and have your say. I've got a few topics I want to talk about tonight. I really want to get into this debate about the whole Todd Boehly thing. I think there's a bit of a witch hunt from certain ex-players and the media. I want to get into that. And obviously, maybe a bit about the England squad and obviously the Premier League games at the weekend as well. The Buff Carrot says, Mark Goldbridge crossbar champion, folks. Yeah, I'm going to challenge Goldbridge crossbar challenge. I think I can beat anybody at that. Nice little ball in wide. Podence has got it. Wolves' final ball. You can see why they don't score many goals. You're just a Poundland Hazard. He is a bit like Hazard off Wish, isn't he, Podence? He's got that balance and that, but he's just not Hazard. Prime Hazard. Come on. Wolves, I feel like Wolves have steadied the ship a little bit here in the last 10 minutes. You know, the worst thing they could do is concede again very quickly. Steadied the ship a little bit. Have a bit of possession. There's only 3 Premier League games today, isn't there? I think there's 2 tomorrow. And obviously 2 last night, 3 today. So we've got 8 games. Obviously Chelsea, Liverpool has been postponed, and Man United, Leeds has been postponed. So you've got Newcastle, Bournemouth at 3 o'clock, and Spurs, Leicester. I mean, that should be a... I hate to say it, Leicester fans, but that should be a straightforward win, really, for Spurs at 5:30. Tomorrow it's Everton, West Ham at 2:15, and obviously Brentford play Arsenal at 12 o'clock, which we'll do a watch along for that. Let's get rid of a few people here. It's 1-0. That's why it says it 1. You know when it says 1 next to Man City and 0 next to Wolves, it's a massive giveaway that the score is 1-0. It's 2-0 now. Haaland, that's just world class. I mean, fucking hell. He's just too good. It's just too good. I don't have words. I don't have words. Well, I do because I'm talking, but he's just too good. I don't know whether this is a bit jammy. I don't know whether it's just world class. I'll err on the side of caution and say it's just world class, but it's just... Where's the defence? The Wolves' defence. Yeah, keeper can't do anything about this. It's a direct run, and then he shifts his body. Kilman's in a... I mean, he doesn't hit it clean, but the keeper can't get it. Keeper's at full stretch. You've got to say it's a brilliant finish by Haaland. And keeper's just not able to get it. And the centre-backs are in a right... They're in a right state there. Well, for Fantasy Premier League, it's doing all right. I've got a De Bruyne assist and I've got a Haaland goal, and he is my captain, but so's everybody else got him. But 2-0 to Man City here. He didn't really hit it right, says Chris. He didn't hit it right, but the direction's right and the keeper's at full stretch. So if he hits it clean, it's probably more into the bottom corner, to be honest. But 2-0, I was just saying Wolves seem to have steadied the ship a little bit, and they've now given themselves an absolute mountain to climb here. 2-0 to Manchester City after 17 minutes. And you know what? You look at Man City against Newcastle, you look at Man City against Palace, you look at Man City against Villa, and you felt like they were giving the opposition a chance. But today, they look very, very, very smooth, don't they? But I disagree with stuff like this. Haroon says it's too easy for City. How is it too easy for City? Like, Newcastle were 3-1 up against them. It ended up being a draw. Villa, one of the worst teams in the league this season, got a deserved point. Like, they're not too good. They can be got at, but... on this form today, I don't think Wolves have started off very well at all. And it's surprising from Wolves as well, because their defence, they're playing a back four, aren't they? And there's so much space to get at them. The worst team to be 2-0 down to is City as well. But, somebody just said there in the chat, Akil just says Wolves aren't good enough. It's really interesting, isn't it? Because... they have got so many Portuguese players. If Bruno was to be sacked, you'd have to bring a Portuguese coach in, wouldn't you? Because that's sort of what they are. They've got this Portuguese core. But they should be playing better than this. They've got good players, but, I mean, look at the passing again. Architects of their own downfall here, Wolves. Chris says he thought Wolves would have given him a fight. They've got no bite. Wolves, they're more like rabbits. Stuck in the headlights. Here's De Bruyne again. Laid it off. It could be 3. Bernardo Silva. They're queuing up here. Grealish. Keeper's got it. Super Suede, I know that you're trolling, but I'll just sit you down. He says, the Premier League is no better than the Bundesliga when it comes to competition. You can't argue with that. Tell me the last time Bayern Munich were pushed for a title. Man City were pushed last year to the final day by Liverpool. Yeah, only an idiot thought that Haaland was going to flop. I genuinely think that if I just got myself fit, because that would be my biggest problem. If I got myself fit, I would score 8 Premier League goals in this team. I would. As long as I was fit, I would. Because De Bruyne would give me at least 3 or 4 tap-ins a season for a start. And I could take a penalty. 4 tap-ins and 4 penalties. I'd score 8 Premier League goals in this team. And I think anybody who had a good, decent level of fitness would. I mean, obviously, Haaland's going to score about 40 because he's world class. But what I'm saying is, how could anybody think that Erling Haaland was going to flop in a Man City top? It exposes that you're either a troll or you don't know ball, because Ronaldo would score 30 goals in this team. Jesus scored goals in this team, and they're good players. But, name me a pretty average striker. Shea Adams at Southampton is probably going to score you 20, 30 goals in a Man City shirt. Certainly 20. And if you don't think that's the case, you're being really disrespectful to how good people like Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden and Bernardo Silva are, because they will put chances on a plate for you. So anybody who sat there in the summer going, Haaland's going to flop, like, where have you been? In a coma? Living on an island? Like, and when I say island, I don't mean like the UK. I mean like, Tom Hanks' island, talking to a basketball called Wilson. Like, he's never going to flop. I don't think I know ball better than anyone else, Amit, and I've never said that, so you can jog on. No, it wasn't a penalty for Wolves there. Wilson was a volleyball, says Saul. Good shot from City there, straight at the keeper. Look, I'll give you a controversial take. I don't think Nunez is a flop at Liverpool, and I don't think he will flop. I think he'll start scoring a lot of goals soon. He just hasn't adapted as quick as Haaland has, have he? But Liverpool aren't playing as well as Man City either. I thought he was going to be a Lukaku. Maybe that was... Oh, hold on. Neto just shoots wide. I thought he was going to be a Lukaku. Maybe that was because I'm a Swede and an Arsenal fan, but I was completely wrong. He's a robot, says Charlie. But you know what? I can answer that question quite easily. If Romelu Lukaku played up front for Man City, he wouldn't be a flop. The volume of chances that Man City creates is different to Chelsea. Look, De Bruyne and Lukaku link up very well for Belgium as well. So that's that's probably the best point, really. You put Romelu Lukaku up front for City and he will score goals. Probably won't score as many as Haaland because he's not as good as Haaland, but he will score goals because you will get good chances playing up front for Man City. And Man City play different to quite a lot of teams. Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs. The way they score goals is very different to the way that Man City score goals. Man City will have 70% possession and they will, spend a lot of time around the opposition's back four and penalty box. Haaland in a different realm to Nunez, says Ronan. I tell you what, though, I would say, and I spoke to a couple of Man City fans about this as well. They had concerns about it. I will say this. The only concern I had about Haaland was probably one of his biggest assets is his explosive pace. How do you utilise his explosive pace when teams are going to play so deep against you? Well, what you do is you utilise his amazing movement in the box. And, he may not get many opportunities to get in behind defences because teams are wary of City, but he's still a brilliant penalty box striker. Favourite defender is Warren. At the moment, Varane. Free kick for Wolves here on the edge of the box again. Man City's ability to buy great players for non-inflated prices is amazing. Akanji is looking pretty decent for 15 million, says Mel. Yeah, well, Akanji's a player Man United could have bought. Not that we needed to, but yeah, he's a player that Manchester United were looking at. Would Haaland surpass Ferguson? Says no one. With Haaland, will Pep surpass Ferguson? Nunez, Neves with the free kick, crap. Wolves are just ultimately a very frustrating team, aren't they? City equals small club and a very good team, says Ashton. Lee says Haaland does have a weakness, his injury record. Well, let's have a look at that. I don't know that his injury record isn't related to growth, really. You know, let's have a look at what his injury record is like. I mean, remembering he is what, 22, just 22. So he's had about 7 injuries in the last sort of year and a bit. Knee problems, muscle fibre, muscular, minor knock, muscular, hip flexor, muscular. But none of them have been... He's never had a long-term injury, like 6 games with a muscular problem, hip flexor with 7 games, 7 games with torn muscle fibre. I think a lot of that could be down to the fact that, you know, he's 20, he's 21. He's not fully grown yet. He's probably not fully grown now yet. So he might not have an issue with injuries in his career at Man City and wherever he goes after that. It could just be to do with, as I say, growing pains. Of course, he's not going to the World Cup as well, which is a massive advantage for Manchester City. Dortmund had a really bad team doctor as well, says Kyle. Thanks for all the super chats coming in. I wouldn't say he's injury prone. I'd say it's more likely to just be growing issues. Nice ball into Haaland there. Keeper's got it. Jake thinks that City are going to win the league easily. I actually don't. I don't. They haven't played any of the top 6 yet. They've already dropped points to Newcastle. They've already dropped points to Villa. I think on their day, they're very hard to beat. But obviously, Grealish shoots over the bar. Martial in the City team, that's actually dangerous, as Ashton. Funniest scenario is if Man City gets a bad draw in the Champions League and lose to a team like Barcelona in round of 16, says Myron. I think Man City's biggest asset, and we've seen it a few times this season, and we saw it on Wednesday night against Dortmund, is that they can go behind and then just suddenly make 3 or 4 quality subs and be a different team in 5 minutes. We saw it at Newcastle, didn't they? They were 3-1 down and then they were 3-3 in no time. They've just got this ability to switch it on and score 2-3 goals very, very quickly. I think they're a hard team to beat, obviously, but it's almost like with City, you've got a better chance when you're level with them than you are when you're ahead of them. They like I say, they seem to switch a button if they've got half an hour left and they're losing. Here's Haaland in a deeper position. Nice little ball. Probably an offside there, but referee's not giving it. Play on. The question is, and it's a good one from Michael Vermont, who's going to challenge City for the title? Because can Arsenal challenge for the title? I think that's a bit unfair to expect them to do that. Are Liverpool good enough to challenge for the title this year? I think Man City might win the league this year just because there's not anybody to challenge them. If this was Liverpool of last year, you'd think, oh, maybe there's a bit of vulnerability there. But Man City's advantage this year looks like that there might not be anybody capable of really pushing them. Man City will win the league with a 15-point gap, says Ian, and thank you very much for that. They'll be over by March, says Key. Goals win prizes as well. They've got probably one of the best goal scorers in the world up front. That makes a big difference. Please subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're only 300 away from 763,000. Get involved with That's Football. You're very welcome on here. Good conversations going on in the chats. Cal says Man City won't win it. Mark my words. I predicted they will win it. I don't think they're going to be, unstoppable. But I just don't know who's going to challenge them. I think that's the thing. Good play. Gets it wide. Oh. What's this defender? Some of Wolves' defending has been shocking today. Play on. Do you think Haaland could win the Ballon d'Or? Yeah, I do. Thoughts on Vinicius Junior's racial abuse for dancing, says Luke. I don't really know the wider... I've read what he's put on Instagram, and I think he's absolutely spot on, what he said there. He's just got to be who he is, and, he should have the freedom to do that, of course. But I don't know this. I don't know the context of why he had to post that. I'll put my hands up. I don't know anything about why that happened, but I have read the post. It's not surprising, like he says, is it? But it's ridiculous that these things are still having to be done. Do you see United winning silverware, says Sachin? I think it'd be difficult. I think the Europa League's our best chance. Mark, who should United sign for striker, says Jordan. And Roberto, thank you very much for your super chat there. Spanish media going in on him, apparently. Ashton says United will definitely challenge Man City. Yeah, Man United, I think Europa League is probably about. Who should Man United buy as a striker? I'm hoping that over the next sort of season, we'll start to get the next Nunez. No, probably not going to get the next Haaland yet, are we? Because he's a bit generational. But yeah, we do need a striker, and we need somebody that's going to be good for the next 10 years. Can't wait to see the Butcher versus Haaland, says Ray S. He's given a red card. That's it, it's game over. I think Anthony Taylor's just ruined this game, hasn't he? Let's have a look. I did warn you. I did warn you. I haven't seen it enough. I'm not going to pass comment here. Clear red. Nathan Collins. Well, no, actually, you know what? Again, you're looking at it in slow motion. He's gone to win the ball. I'm not so sure. It's not as bad as it looks on a slow. I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure. I think it's one of those, isn't it? I think most people will say it's a red, but it's not malicious. It's reckless. It's dangerous, isn't it? I think people are going clear red. It's not a clear red to me. He's gone for the ball. He's gone too high. It's reckless, but I don't think it's like, not in the sense that Roy Keane on Haaland all those years ago. He's not tried to bloody career end him, has he? I need to see it again. Let's have a poll. Was it a red? Yes or no? I mean, it's on Grealish. Here we go. So he's gone for the ball. Yeah, he should. He's got it. It's reckless. I don't think it's malicious. I don't think it's deliberate, but it is reckless. And in the modern game, you're going to get a red, aren't you? It's a shame because that's game over now. It is a shame. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Let's see if we can hit 762,000. Man City 2-0 up and Wolves down to 10 men. Nathan Collins sent off. He's in my fantasy Premier League team. I tell you what, there's nothing wrong with Grealish, by the way. There's nothing wrong with him. Don't pretend that Grealish is injured. He's not injured. He's not injured. He's made the most out of that. And, you know, it's clever from Grealish, but he's not, you know, go and watch the German goalkeeper on the French player years ago. Oh, he's got a bit of a scratch on his stomach. He's not injured. He knows what he's doing there. Clever play by Grealish. Stupid by Collins. Game over. I've played football at all sorts of levels. If you think that that's a career-ending tackle, football's not for you. It's one of those. I agree. It's a red in the modern game. It's a red, but you've got people talking out like he's tried to snap him in two or something. He's genuinely gone for the ball. He shouldn't have his foot up that high. It's reckless. It's a red card. But I'm not having this whole he should get a 10. Somebody just said he should get a 10-match ban for it. It's like it's a genuine attempt to get the ball and it's reckless. He's not kung fu kicked him. Somebody was saying there he's tried to cut him in half. It's a red card because in the modern game you can't be that reckless. But he's not got, you know, like I say, go and watch the bloody German goalkeeper on the French player from years ago who just basically tries to take his head off with his studs flying. I'm trying to think if there's a justification for not giving a red card. Maybe if it's on a player who gets up straight away. But as I say, it's clever by Grealish. I wouldn't get up straight away. I'd act like I've been. You can't moan at Grealish for doing it because he knows as a professional footballer that the player's out of control there and reckless, and you've got to stay down and take it and go. He's going to get a red card. It's very clever play by Grealish. I mean, I'm not so sure he could have got up straight away. To be fair, anyway, but. You can't, you know, I don't think Anthony Taylor's a very good referee, but he'll be very proud of himself there because he hasn't got it wrong. And as Daniel says, Daniel's a bit of an idiot. He says it doesn't have to be a career ender to be a red. Nobody ever said that it did, Daniel. Do you think Son will find form after a goal? Says, come on, you Spurs. I think Son is in the same category as Salah at the moment. They're almost a mirror image, aren't they? I think they're fantastic players, although Salah did score midweek, of course. Both Golden Boot winners last year, and they've just not got going. It can happen. It can happen. So 79% of you say it's a red card. Yeah, I think in the modern game it is. You're right. I mean, well, it is. I'm not saying it's not a red card. I think when I first saw it, I'm a bit old school, so I'm a little bit like. I don't like these modern red cards. I mean, I remember one that Leeds had against Man City, and I think Stones got sent off against Villa as well. You genuinely go to get the ball, you miss it, and then a player goes, ah! And it's an instant red card. But that's the modern game, isn't it? So it is, obviously, it is a red card, but, you know, you can't use the excuse of it's a genuine attempt to get the ball if it's reckless and out of control. And he is reckless and out of control, so it is a red card, of course. But yeah, I would defend against the people who say that he's gone out of his way to, you know, try and hurt the player, or it's deliberate or, you know, malicious. I don't think it's any of those things, but it's out of control and it's reckless and it's a red card. Schumacher's tackle on Battiston. If you ever want to Google a bad tackle, fucking hell. Friends ask, there'll be people going to Google now. Oh, he's running through one-on-one for France. The ball's bouncing. You can't see the keeper. This Schumacher guy comes running out, jumps in the air, leads with his studs. Literally could have killed him. Could have killed him. Jason says, people are going overboard with the tackle. I agree, Mark. By the way, good luck sticking with this game. Millions have changed the channel. Yeah. It's a tough one, Jason, isn't it? We're nearly at half time anyway. What's the app you use for editing video and streaming, says Random. I don't edit, mate. I don't edit. I just go live. Yeah, that is one of the worst. There are some terrible tackles, but I remember as a kid seeing that Schumacher tackle for Germany on the French lad. Ugh. Literally, if he'd have caught him in the face, he would have killed him. He would have took his head off. And he was very high in the air. He didn't. I don't think he got sent off either. Don't think he got sent off. Let's have a look. Schumacher on Battiston. Let's have a look. Well, here's an article from July 2022. Patrick Battiston has barely recovered from his crunching clash with Harold Schumacher 40 years ago. The Frenchman lost 2 teeth, broke 3 ribs, and still suffers back pain, and the referee blew for a goal kick. Oh, he did as well. I'm just trying to see if they'll show the clip. It was, you know, I've seen it so many times. He should have gone to prison for it. It was GBH. You stayed down for 10 minutes when you got your leg swiped, says Brad Carling. Yeah, because I'm clever like Grealish. I'm not knocking Grealish for doing it. Like, if somebody's... my attitude, and I was caught on 4K doing it. It wasn't 4K, the camera quality was crap. But, yeah, I mean, if somebody's stupid enough to be reckless, I'm going to stay down till the referee gives a red. Of course I am. Nathan Collins has been sent off. A few people are actually looking at... I'm not laughing about it. All we're saying is... Nathan Collins has been sent off for a reckless tackle. There was no maliciousness to it. It was a red. Modern game, definitely a red. Clever by Grealish as well. Stay down until the red's given. Don't blame him for that. But if you want to see a malicious tackle, then Schumacher, Battiston, Google it. Random People says, I'm a big fan of yours. I'm a Chelsea fan, but your football knowledge is outstanding. I like your best 11 of 2 teams, like Man United, Chelsea or Liverpool, says Random. Yeah, thanks, pal. Thanks for the super chat. Remember, you might want to call in tonight about the red card on Talk Sport. I'm live at 7:30 with the Mark Goldbridge show. It's all about taking your calls on that, so looking forward to it. It'll be live on YouTube as well. Remember, Haaland doesn't have top to press. It's easier, says Robert Curlos. Well, yeah, you don't have to press when you've got the ball. As you can see, Nathan Collins there, he's invisible. He's been sent off. He's got a red card on his shoulder. Man City leading 2-0 here. And, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, Man City do press, but they don't have to press in the same way that, you know, a Brentford or anybody else has to press, because they just don't spend any time without the ball, really, do they? Collins didn't have his studs up, says Frentas. I think that shows that it wasn't intentional and it wasn't malicious, but I still think it's a red. You know, they're never not going to give a red anymore. He tries to win the ball because he sort of kicks Grealish with the outside of his foot, but here's Grealish. Well, he might feast Grealish now. He's playing against 10 men. De Bruyne shoots wide. 10 years ago, that's a yellow, says Carl. Yes, you're right. You are right. You are right. I'm just going to watch this Schumacher Battiston thing, because although I'm telling people to watch it. Please subscribe, by the way. We're only 200 away from 763. Must be able to watch it somewhere. Schumacher versus Battiston videos. Search up Heinz Müller versus Geir Ludwig, says Maxim. There it is. He's running through, jumps in the air, knocks it past the keeper. Yeah, there's absolutely no justification for it from the keeper at all. He sees the ball has been knocked past him before he even starts jumping. Roy Keane's tackle on Erling Haaland, not Erling Haaland, he wouldn't be able to get near Erling Haaland at his age. Roy Keane's tackle on Alf-Inge Haaland was bad. It was vengeance. It was malicious. It was calculated. It was deliberate. If you saw that in a game this afternoon, you would be saying he needs to be banned for the season, really. Luke Harley says, Goldbridge player career FIFA 23. De Bruyne shoots wide. Yeah, it wasn't his studs that caught him. I always envisaged that he led with his foot, but it was actually he turned his, which is even worse because your hips bloody like concrete. What's the worst challenge you've seen? David Boost, Coventry against Man United was horrible because it wasn't malicious, but basically he got hit by 2 tackles on the leg. So it's basically force. It's like that. Schmeichel ran off the pitch, didn't he? I think he was crying. Yeah, it was horrible. If you think that would have been a yellow 10 years ago, go check out Company's red against United 10 years ago, says Jambez. Nigel de Jong against Spain, says Mitchell. Well, that final was it Howard Webb who refereed that? Was it World Cup final? Yeah. Do you like the New England kit? No, I hate it, Suey. I absolutely hate it. Absolutely horrible kit. It's horrible. The women's England kit in the Euros is really nice. Why not just use that? It's horrible. Thatcher on Pedro Mendes was the worst, surely. That was the elbow, wasn't it, Fabsy? Yeah, I mean, that's just... Yeah, I think anybody who's played football, you know, that's the unwritten rule, isn't it? You know, you can slide into somebody and break their leg sometimes, but... Oh, Haaland was nearly in there. Yeah, you can slide into somebody and, you know, break their leg and, you know, you can be out of control and you can be criticised. But Ben Thatcher's running through and just goes like that. Like, it's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I think he got quite a big ban for it. And, yeah, he deserved it. It was disgusting. Disgusting. Yeah, it was just... you could argue that he, you know... could have gone to prison for it, really. It was disgusting. Yeah, but Jack says the tackle on Luke Shaw in the Europa League. Was it the Europa League or was it the Champions League? It was against PSV, I think, wasn't it? Wasn't his name Alvarez? And yeah, that was disgusting as well. Roy Keane called that a good tackle, though. So that shows you what Roy Keane thinks about the modern game and physicality. You can't assault people. It's 2-0 here at half-time to Manchester City, and Wolves are down to 10 men. You can't argue about it, really. Wolves have not played particularly well. It was 2-0 before the red card. The red card is a red card. I don't feel it's malicious, you know, but I think it's out of control, and therefore, you know, yeah, it is what it is. Let me just put a tweet out. But yeah, Wolves have done sod all anyway, and they were doing sod all before that. And look, I don't particularly think we'll have many Wolves fans listening, but my issue with Wolves is I look at that team and I think it's a good team. I think if you put Mikel Arteta in charge of that's not a bad Arsenal side, is it? All right, you'd probably want to improve a couple of players, but it's not a bad side. But they don't entertain. They don't generate opportunities. They don't excite. I think that they're massively underachieving, Wolves, and they should be doing better than that. They've got some. I like Guedes. I like Neto. Podence is decent. You've got people like Adama Traore on the bench. That midfield is good. Matinho and obviously they've got Neves and now they've brought in Nunez. But they just don't create anything. They're just really bad in the final third. Neil Ruddock's tackle on Andy Cole in a friendly broke his leg. Sheringham told him to do it so he could take Cole's England place. I don't think that's true, Frentas. Love the streams, Mark. Do you think City have a chance at the quadruple, says Joe? I'm going to say something controversial here. I think that this City team is not as good as the team last year. And people are going to be coughing out their tea and all sorts. What's he talking about? What's he talking about? I think Erling Haaland's better than Jesus, of course. But, you know, you look at what City have lost. They've lost Sterling. They've lost Zinchenko. They've lost Jesus. They've lost Fernandinho. And they've replaced them with Haaland, Alvarez, Calvin Phillips and Akanji. I think there is I think City are a different team this year, and I think that they're still. What I'm trying to say is, I think that this City team isn't finished yet. Like, it's still early days. They can get better than what they are at the moment. I think on their day they are capable of beating anybody, but I still think that they are still capable of dropping points, as we've seen against Newcastle and Aston Villa. Today against Wolves are probably the sort of perfect team. I will reserve judgment on what Man City can achieve this season when I've seen Man City play Man United in a couple of weeks, when they've played Liverpool and everyone else like that. It's scary that they can get better. I agree with Mark. And I think also I've predicted Man City will win the league, by the way. And the reason I predict Man City would win the league is because I just don't know anybody who's going to be able to push them. This Man City side will easily get 80, 85, 90 points. And I'm not so sure that anybody else will do that this year. I mean, I think conceivably Arsenal will be somewhere between 70 and 80. Chelsea the same. Maybe Spurs. Hopefully Man United. I'm not so sure Liverpool are going to go above 80 points this year. So I can see Man City winning the league with 83, 84 points. And that would be a drop-off for Man City. So I think Man City can afford to have a transitional year and still win the league. Can they win the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup and the Champions League? I mean, of course they can do, but I don't think they will. But yeah, I'm just going to be... I don't feel that there's anybody ready to take on Man City this year. Liverpool are obviously going through a few problems themselves. The thing is about Liverpool, though, don't sleep on Liverpool. Liverpool fans will be screaming, don't sleep on Liverpool, because they are capable of just going on a ridiculous run and getting into a strong position. But I think City will win the league, but I keep saying it, I think there's a vulnerability to City this year because I think they're going through a rebuild. I think the team is very different. I think that the way they play the way they play with Haaland is a little bit different. But I think the players are enjoying it. Do you think Man United can get a result at Etihad in a couple of weeks? I don't, actually. I don't. And I don't think many Man United fans would think that. I think that I think it'll be difficult for Manchester United to go to Man City and to get a result, really. I think that... our defence is the best thing about us at the moment. And we are up against a very good man. Look, and also as well, I mean, I don't know why anybody thinks that Man United should go to Man City and get a result. They're twice Premier League winners. They've got one of the best strikers in the world. They've got the best midfielder in the world. Arguably, they've got two of the best midfielders in the world with Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne. They've got one of the best holding midfielders in the world. Their goalkeeper's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Diaz is one of the best centre-backs in the world. Like, Man United are a work in progress. So I don't think there's any requirement or expectation that Manchester United should go to at the Etihad and get a result. I'd be over the moon if we did. I'd be over the moon with the points. But I think ultimately United need to go to Man City and just not get dominated and lose 3 or 4-0 like they have done in the past. And you can get dominated and lose 2-0, by the way. You know, Wolves are losing 2-0. They've been dominated. So I think United against Man City, Man City will still be the very firm favourites. And look at that cross by De Bruyne. And I think that it's about improvement for Man United. Dustin says, you are the double of Elrond from the new Lord of the Rings on Amazon. I have watched it. I know who you're talking about. He also played young Ned Stark on Game of Thrones, and people mentioned him to me then. I don't really see the likeness, but there you go. Who do you think will rebuild quicker, Liverpool or Chelsea, says Jordan? Liverpool. I don't think Liverpool's rebuild is that big. I think it's just about really getting Nunez into the team and keeping people fit. Pep leaving at the end of the season, he said he's going to decide after World Cup, says Matt. Has Pep Guardiola not signed the new contract yet then? I thought he'd signed the new contract. The thing about Pep Guardiola is, and I think this is very clear to everybody, the thing about Pep Guardiola is that he really has constantly had a bit of a struggle. We're only 70 subscribers away from 763,000, by the way, so please subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. Let's see if we can hit it at half time. I want to play some either ors in the second half, by the way, because unless Wolves pull off a miracle, we need to have a bit of interaction. I'm just watching this red card again. You know what? When you watch it from the angle, it's a red card because his foot is up, but he hits Grealish's arm, and sort of catches Grealish's elbow, which pushes it down onto his hip. Like, he doesn't go to hit Grealish in the chest. He completely goes for the ball, and his foot gets diverted down into Grealish's hip. It's a red card. It is a red card. But what I'm saying is it's just one of those. You can't say it's not a red, but it's certainly not malicious. And certainly when I was watching football, probably 20 years ago, that wouldn't even be a yellow card. But it's still a red, like Dima says. But going back to Pep, I've always detected this, and I don't know what you think. I've always detected with Pep Guardiola that there is a frustration at Man City, in the sense that, he often talks about the atmosphere. He often talks about fans at the ground. He often talks about the media not giving them the attention that maybe United or Liverpool get. And I just sense that for Pep Guardiola is a bit of an issue. You're never going to get the credibility at Manchester City that maybe he deserves, because Man City don't get the credibility that Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United get, because they're new money clubs, aren't they? And people just use that thing. It's a bit like, when I was growing up, if you were a Liverpool fan, you used to get called a glory supporter because Liverpool were really good in the late 80s when I was really young, So I just wonder if Pep Guardiola at some point will go and leave because he wants to do something. I don't want to use the word credible because I'm not disrespecting Man City. It's too easy to say they've got no fans and this, that and the other. They've been doing it for a long time now, and they're going to do it for a long time. So Man City are part of this, league. They're part of this conversation. But I just wonder whether Pep's... He never played for Man City. He's not English. Staying at Man City for another 5 years will be about money. I don't feel that I don't think he's unhappy at Man City, but I don't think he's heart and soul wrapped up in Man City, if you know what I mean. So I think what I'm trying to say is I think he'll try and win the Champions League. I think that's an obsession. If I was a Man City fan, if he wins the Champions League, I think that's it. I don't see what else he'd want to achieve. But where would he go next? What would he do next? Would he want a national job? Would he want to go back to Barcelona? I think he said before that he wouldn't want to do that. So that rules out La Liga. Does he want to do Serie A? Because he's done the Bundesliga, he's done the Premier League, he's done La Liga. Does he want to go and manage in Saudi Arabia or the MLS? I feel like there is an exit from Man City for Pep. But he might be here for another 10 years. I don't know. Would you rather be mates with Gareth Keenan or Chris Finch? I like Gareth. I think I'd go with Gareth there. We've got a bitter Man City fan here. Mark spouting absolute shit about Pep now. Well, I don't think it is shit, mate, because I get the impression he is not heart and soul obsessed about staying at Man City till he retires. You compare him to you compare it to Sir Alex Ferguson. Sir Alex Ferguson was never going to go anywhere else. Like, Man United was through his veins. I don't get that impression off Pep with Man City. I don't get that impression off many players at Man City. I think Man City has to build that. It would be wrong if Man City could buy what Man United had with Sir Alex Ferguson, or what Liverpool had with Kenny Dalglish. You can't, or what Arsenal had with Wenger. You can't buy that. You have to. You can't buy being a big club. You can't buy a massive fan base. Man City need to keep winning for the next 20, 30 years, and then they will be where Man United and Liverpool are now, where they've got a huge, historic fan base built on years and years of success and sustainability. Man City can't have that after 10, 13 years. I don't think Pep Guardiola wants to retire at Manchester City. Doesn't mean he won't, but I don't think he does want to do that. And I think the best chance of Pep Guardiola staying at Man City is not winning the Champions League. I think that's the obsession, isn't it? I might be completely wrong, but that's my opinion, and I've expressed it. Don't forget, if you want to express your opinion, you can call in to Talk Sport this evening from 7:30 till 9 o'clock. It's the Mark Goldbridge Show. Love the calls, love the conversation, so tune in. It's also live on YouTube as well. Do you think Arsenal will get 70 plus points, says Screen Boy? You know what? I think for teams like Arsenal and Manchester United and Spurs, getting over 70 points isn't guaranteed. That's the next step. You know, Man City getting anything less than 80 points is a bad season. I think for Arsenal, United, Spurs, getting over 70 points is a good season. That's got to be Arsenal's aim this year. Thomas says Liverpool's problem is age. Salah, Van Dijk, Firmino, Matip, Henderson, Thiago, all over 30. Fabinho, Alisson and Robertson nearly 30, says Thomas. But that's the big thing, isn't it? Has Pep signed a new contract yet? I think he probably will. Klopp has signed that contract. So you would suggest that Klopp will... Liverpool need to invest. One thing that Pep Guardiola always has is a checkbook. Whether he's at Barcelona, whether he's at Bayern Munich, whether he's at Man City, he has a checkbook and he rebuilds teams. That needs to be put into place at Liverpool, because you're right that team is ageing and it needs players coming through. We're 10 subscribers away from 763,000. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Please subscribe, bottom right hand corner. I've got a few Man City fans who just cannot take feedback, can they? It's all about the checkbook. It's always about being positive. I'm not digging City out. You deserve to win the title last year. I predicted you'll win the title this year. Erling Haaland's fantastic. De Bruyne is one of the best players in the world. But you know what? You need to bloody grow up and accept that people have different opinions to you. And I don't sense that Pep Guardiola is a Man City sky blue through and through. I don't think he wants to retire there. I think he would like to move on at some point, but he may well stay there while you don't win the Champions League. I mean, what's illogical about that? Grow up. It's just opinion, isn't it? City's second half's about to start here. And we're off and running there. Second half. Timer on the screen. Rendani says you supported United because that were good. So that you supported United because that were good. So let City enjoy the moment. Man United weren't very good when I started supporting them. So yeah, can't ever accused of being a glory fan. And anyone who started supporting United in the last 10 years can never be accused of being a glory fan either. When I was a kid, United weren't very good. I barely remember 85 FA Cup win. First FA Cup I ever remember was 87, which was Spurs Coventry. So, my first memories of football, United didn't win anything. Man United didn't win the first trophy I remember United winning was 1990 FA Cup. So, I'm not a glory supporter. That's not why I support Manchester United. Check my passport. Anyway, you don't get a special badge for why you start supporting a football club. I'll be absolutely honest. The world's a very different world now to when I was growing up. I've been round my mate's house and his kids are playing football in the garden. I've been round 1 month and they're wearing a Liverpool top. You go round at Christmas and they're wearing a City top. I don't know whether anybody else can relate to that, but I've seen that a few times. Right, let's do some either ors anyway. I want to see if we can get some good ones. I'm willing to start here today, and I'm going to start with the best either or. We've not done it for a while. Vote for what you prefer: Ronaldo or Messi. Go for it. Go for it in the chat. If you can think of the best polls are the ones that end up being close to 50-50. Joshua Bowater recommended one the other day, McTominay or Fred, and it was locked on 50-50 for about 5 minutes. Frentas says if Pep goes, City won't be coached and perform the same, so do Liverpool win the title. Now this is where I will stick up for City and City fans. If Pep Guardiola leaves, I don't think Man City will fall off at all. They will go and buy. They will go and get. Well, buy. I suppose that's what you do in the game of football, isn't it? We bought Anthony. That's what happens. If Pep Guardiola went tomorrow, Man City wouldn't stop winning titles. Man City won the title with Pellegrini. They won the title with Mancini. Chelsea won the title with numerous managers. They won it with Sarri, didn't they, as well? Like, Man City will still win the league because they've got the infrastructure. They've got the players. They've got the infrastructure. They've got the strategy. So Man City would just go and get the next big thing. Might not be as good as Pep, but they'd still have the resources to do it. I thought Sarri at Chelsea won the league. I'm not a Chelsea fan. I don't fucking know. I don't, I consume so much football. There has to be a brain dump. And I don't brain dump a lot of things. But who was the manager when Chelsea won every title in the last 10 years? That will be stuff that gets dumped. I have to retain so much knowledge. And, I might have a condition. I don't know what it is. But when I study for exams, I'm the sort of person that will learn a lot of things in a very short period of time. And then when I don't need it, I dump it. I'm not very good at retaining masses of information. Hi, Mark. Hope you're well. In a similar vein to your opinions on Pep, how do you think Klopp exits Liverpool? Well, I think that's a good question, Ollie, because I actually think Klopp is a little bit more volatile in the sense that I think Pep Guardiola is more methodical. I think if he was going to leave Man City, he'd probably tell them. I think Klopp might go quite quickly. I think Klopp might get to a point where he just goes, I've had enough and goes, I'm not saying he would do that, but just because he's signed a contract for 5 years, I don't think it necessarily means he's going to do 5 years. Whereas I think with Pep Guardiola, if he signs a new contract for 3 years, he probably will do the 3 years. They're just different types of managers, aren't they? Klopp is more passionate. Klopp's personality is more on the edge, isn't it? It's more passionate. I prefer Klopp to Pep, but Haaland missed 28 games with Dortmund. City are over-dependent on one player, says Ahmed. Don't forget that after the World Cup, it's going to be really busy. Man United can still win the league. You were doing really well until then. I actually was starting to believe you, but remember Haaland's not going to the World Cup, so he'll be very fresh. Eric, thank you very much. Welcome to the Members Club. Hi, Mark. Love the channel. Where do you think Jude will play next season? Lewis. Look, Liverpool fans are very confident that he's going to go there. I don't know whether that confidence is based on knowledge. Maybe somebody at Liverpool's put it out there that they're going to get him. But I can't understand why Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, PSG, Man City, Chelsea wouldn't have as much as a chance. I think Bellingham's going to have a very interesting World Cup because for me, he's got to start. You've got to start Bellingham and Rice. If he starts Phillips and Rice and plays a back five, it's a joke. But he is a bit of a joke, Southgate. But I think if Bellingham starts in the World Cup for England and has a good World Cup, then the queue is going to be even bigger and the price is going to be even bigger. Keep up the great work. Love your videos, says Shu. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for everyone tuning in today. Loving the questions. Messi and Ronaldo are locked on 50-50. There you go. Thank you very much. You've now got to find a poll to beat that. Goldbridge has pulled it out again. That's what she said. Bowen and Kulusevski last year, wasn't it? I got that one that was locked on 50-50 for about 10 minutes. But I didn't actually think Ronaldo and Messi would be locked on 50-50. I didn't say that, people are so literal, aren't they? I do enjoy the conversations we have, but somebody in the chat has just put, laugh out loud, Goldbridge thinks Pep isn't passionate. Didn't say that. I didn't say that, did I? I said Klopp's got a more volatile, passionate personality than Pep, whereas Pep's more methodical. Didn't say he's not passionate. I just think he controls his passion better than Klopp. They're not the same. They're not the same people. They've not got the same personality. Joe, I'll tell you what, you've been blocked, mate. So that's unlucky, isn't it? I don't care what sort of chat you've put in. I'm not being called names, pal. Goodbye. Welcome to the Members Club, Eric, by the way. I'm not doing Spurs versus Leicester, mates. I thought about it and then I decided against it because I found Spurs quite boring to watch this season. Although I wouldn't criticise them; they're picking up the points, and Leicester have been pretty boring as well. So I'm going to get a Chinese, and then I'm going to go live on YouTube, Talk Sport at 7:30, and talk about football with people who call in to Talk Sport. So I'm looking forward to that. But I'll keep an eye on it, and look, maybe it'll end up being 5-0 to Spurs and a good game. Just a thought, a lot of English players are not playing well this season going into the World Cup. Don't know if that's just me, says Lewis. Yeah, you make a great point, Lewis, actually. Marcelo versus Dani Alves, says Neil. Okay, we'll do that one next. City on the attack here with Foden. Keeper's got hold of it. Key Liverpool players won't be going to the World Cup and they tend to peak in February, March. They could still come back and win the Premier League if City don't pull away, says Frentas. What key Liverpool players are not going to the World Cup then? So, Salah. Well, let's start from the back. Alisson's going to the World Cup. Robertson's not. Trent may not. Matip won't be going, will he? Kanate might not. Van Dijk will. Henderson will. Thiago does probably not go. I don't know. Salah doesn't. Diaz, I presume he does. Nunez will. So about half your team. I thought Matip had retired from international duty anyway. I don't think he does. I don't think he plays international duty. Does he? Is he? Zlatan versus Haaland, says Gunny. Yeah, I mean, just going back to that point about the World Cup for England, who's playing well for England at the moment? I mean, to be fair, Pickford was playing quite well. Reece James is doing okay. Trent's a bit off. Shaw and Chilwell, not really. Maguire can't get in the team. Stones is doing okay. Tomori's doing okay. Kyle Walker's doing okay. Midfield, Declan Rice, probably not as well as he could do. Mount's not playing well. Grealish, not really in the team. Sterling, a bit unsettled, yeah. Kane, he's doing okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I see what you mean. It's weird because England normally do quite well in the qualifiers at this time of year. We're normally fresher, so a lot of people felt that England might do better because of the World Cup being earlier. Saka's doing well, says Ollie the PE teacher. Right, I'm going to close this chat. Does Sean Dyche fit Leicester job, says Tuna. Sean Dyche fits whatever job the chairman decides to go to. Oh, Messi's pulled out. No, Ronaldo's winning. I thought he said Messi on 50. Oh, Ronaldo's winning. Right, I'm going to give it 10 seconds, and if it stays like that, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's have a look what it says. There it is. It's just gone past the live chat. Screenshot that. We had 8.1 thousand votes, 50% to Ronaldo, 49% to Messi. What does that mean? It doesn't count to 100. What it will mean is Messi will be on 49.7 and Ronaldo could be on 50.7, which adds up to 100%. So Ronaldo has won. There you go. You voted. Wolves on the attack. Podence wins a corner. I don't think... I did it for a laugh. Does it really matter? I never found the whole Messi versus Ronaldo thing worthy anyway. It's a personal choice. Right. What was it? Marcelo... Dani Alves. It was a request. We're open to requests. There you go. Next poll. Viva Ronaldo. Neto. What is going on with Wolves? Their passing's terrible. Absolutely terrible. I'm going to tweet that. They're terrible for the quality of player they have. Right, we've had that stuck on there for ages, haven't we? Or have we? Yeah, let's move the carousel around a little bit. There you can see Nathan Collins is not playing. He's been sent off. Leeds says, Leeds versus Man United postponed. What's your thoughts? It's a policing issue, isn't it, at the end of the day? Chelsea versus Liverpool and Manchester United versus Leeds is a category A game or whatever they call it. Basically, both games need more policing than Brentford, Arsenal or Wolves, Man City. So with what's going on in London, I mean, people are queuing up 24 hours to walk past the Queen's coffin. It's... You know, it is a massive policing resource, and I don't really have... I'm not surprised that game's been cancelled and postponed. It's just one of those things. The big issue is, the thing that I think annoyed me and a lot of other people is that we shouldn't have postponed the games last week. That was the big frustration. They should not have been postponed last week. There was no reason to postpone last week. There was no police issues. There was just the Premier League and football decided they would do something that cricket and everybody else didn't do. But it's gone now. There's nothing we can do about it, is there? Grealish or Rashford? That wouldn't even be close. Rashford would win that easy. I've got a good one as well. I'm open to suggestions, but I've got a good either or coming up. Has Calvin Phillips come on yet? Didn't Mourinho win the league with Chelsea playing defensive football? Man United has the strongest defence in Europe this season, says Ahmed. Marcelo's won this one, 54%. Right, I've got another one for you. I am doing Nation League watch-alongs for England against Italy and Germany. Yeah, next Friday and the Monday after. Either or. Right, this is a good one. You'll like this one. Benzema or Lewandowski? What are your thoughts on this? Calvin Phillips, I don't know how many minutes he's had. I'll probably be able to find out for you. Calvin Phillips this season, right? Should he be in the England squad just because he plays well for England when he can't get in the Man City team? Is it not time to say it's your problem if you move to a club where you can't get into it. If you'd stayed at Leeds, you're playing every week. You've gone to Man City because it's your dream or you're going to get big money. You can't get in the team, mate. You know, is it getting to that point now with, or should it be getting to that point now where if you're not playing football, you don't go to the World Cup? Because I suppose, you know, if you didn't take Calvin Phillips, who do you take? You've got to look at it like that, haven't you? I mean, in the Premier League this season, he's made one substitute appearance. And I think it was only for 1 minute. I mean, I'm sure somebody in the chat can check. He's not even on the bench today. I mean, somebody just said, hasn't he been injured? Oh, yeah, because as soon as he's not injured, he's definitely going to bench Rodri or Bernardo Silva or Gundogan, isn't he? I think at Leeds, it was his World Cup year, you know. Look at what happened with Timber at Ajax, you know, wanted some stability in a World Cup year. Calvin Phillips leaves Leeds to go to Man City and, you know, not play. I mean, Southgate's the wrong manager to do it, but it would be like, and you know what it'd be like? It'd be like Van Gaal picking Donny. It gets to a point where you sort of go, you know, name me some English midfielders that you would, you know, consider for the squad who are playing week in, week out. Ward-Prowse is already in. Obviously, Bellingham's already in. Rice is already in. Henderson's already in. But, you know, there's got to be others. Maddison's been mentioned. Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher's not really playing that much, is he? I don't know whether he's starting for Everton. Jacob Ramsey. Willock. I've got another either or that's really good after this one. Benzema's winning at the moment, 52%. Wolves on the attack. Jacob Ramsey's English. I'm glad Dyer got the call up and can play in midfield, says come on you Spurs. Another yellow card here. Mark Goldbridge versus the Glazers. On what planet am I anywhere near the Glazers for negativity associated with Manchester United? That's the sort of shit spouted by idiots. I never understand that nonsense. Oh, you're so negative. Yeah, like our away fans weren't singing "You're Not Fit to Wear the Shirt" last season. They have these weird ideas about, like, you can't be negative about the team, and yet the life and soul of the club, the fans, were singing "You're Not Fit to Wear the Shirt" last year. But apparently I'm negative. Which I haven't been all season, by the way. So, you know, when things are going well on the pitch and we're doing well, I don't moan. When things are a bloody disgrace, I will. Next poll, do Haaland or Benzema? Winner stays on, Rich T. I like it. I don't like Rich T biscuits, though. I'm a hobnobs kind of guy. Right, I'm going to end this. Benzema has beaten Lewandowski with 52% of the vote, and it was a suggestion, so I'm going to continue it. We will do Benzema against Haaland, either or. Will recency win over consistency and class. Let's see. Haaland versus Benzema. Get your votes in. Rich Teal Hobnobs. Come on. Here is Haaland. Good shots. Good double save by Sarr there. Do you think our backline will keep Haaland quiet in the Manchester derby? Also, why do you start versus City as striker, says Rudy. I think the misconception here is that the backline have to play well to stop Man City. It's the midfield that's got to play well. If the midfield wins the midfield battle, then Haaland doesn't get much service. If the defence plays well, but the midfield win the battle for City and keep creating chances, then, you know, it's not the back four that will stop Man City winning. It will be the midfield has to do it as well. Southgate versus Ollie, says White. No, we don't do rubbish ones. Haaland is beating Benzema with 55%. And you see, that's just bollocks. I'm sorry. That's recency. And welcome to the world of football. That's a Gary Lineker poll, that is. Gary Lineker loves recency. He would say that this Man City side is better than the treble-winning United team. Because some people just love recency. And what recency is, I'm gonna be convinced about what's happening good now. There's no way that Haaland's better than Benzema. No way in a million years that Haaland's better than Benzema. He might be in future years, but fucking hell, Benzema, what he did in the Champions League last year. And it's not just the goals, you know. Ronaldo said it about Benzema as well. The work rate, the way he plays, he's a brilliant player. Oh, that's a great goal. It's another assist by De Bruyne. It's Phil Foden. It's 3-0. I'm surprised it's taken them that long to get the third goal. But it's another assist for De Bruyne. And, yep, not a lot you can say about it. It's a nice, clean goal again. They work it out from the back. It's into Foden. Lovely link-ups with De Bruyne today. Into Haaland. De Bruyne just tracking that right. It's a very similar goal to the first half. Overlap of... Why doesn't anyone go with the De Bruyne run? I suppose that's something I'd say from Wolves' point of view. Nobody's tracked the runs of De Bruyne today. And lovely finish by Foden, that is. The angle and the little flick. But look at that, De Bruyne again. And lovely little flick by... The Foden finish is brilliant, actually, because it goes through the legs. (3-0). Haaland is still beating Benzema. I am absolutely stunned that we live in a world where people think Erling Haaland is better than Benzema. He was playing in the Bundesliga for Dortmund a few months ago. He scored a few goals in a Man City side, and he's now better than Benzema. Wow. Fantastic player, Erling Haaland, and has the potential to be one of the best strikers the world's ever seen, but he ain't better than Benzema, in my opinion. Not yet. But you have voted. I'm going to have to close the poll. 53% of the vote to Haaland, 47 to Benzema. All I can say is, to the football purists, I apologise, but we've had 5,000 votes. They've gone with Haaland. It's sad. I don't feel like doing an either-or anymore. I feel like that has ruined it. Mane versus Son or Haaland versus Kane? Come on, you Spurs. No one's voting for Kane over Haaland. Haaland's just won against Benzema. Haaland or Kane, not doing it. It'll be embarrassing for Harry Kane. I've got one. I just want to see. No, there's no point actually at the moment because people don't rate him. I won't do that one. I'll wait for one from you. 70 minutes, they're all applauding, aren't they? Because the Queen was on the throne for 70 years. Ronaldinho plus Messi or Ronaldo plus Ronaldo poll, says Sean. I don't get that. I don't really understand what those sort of things are. Gundogan's come on for Man City. Please do subscribe, by the way, bottom right hand corner. Remember, tomorrow it's a bit of an earlier one. It's a 12 o'clock kickoff for Brentford versus Arsenal. Can Arsenal go back top of the league? There you can see City are currently top with this win today. That's as it stands, league table, 17 points. Can Arsenal go back on top for the international break? To do it, they've got to win at Brentford, who are 9th in the league at the moment. And a bit of a test for Arsenal after that disappointing loss at Old Trafford. Haaland versus Mbappe. Of course, the problem is for Liverpool that they are currently 8 points off Man City. All right, they've got a game in hand, but it's still 8 points, isn't it? This is the problem when people are getting games in hand so early on in the season. You'd rather have the points than the games in hand as well, because this season's going to be ridiculous. Ridiculous. Genie's just come up with a good comment. It says Haaland's goal today was his first goal outside of the box since March. 67 goals. That stat is just mental. Zidane versus De Bruyne. Well, we know who's going to win. You know. There you go. Get voting. Mahrez on as well. Got some good depth in quality, haven't they? Grealish. I mean, I've got to say, I don't know whether I'm in the minority here. I've barely noticed Grealish apart from his tap-in and his foul. I mean, against 10-man Wolves, you'd expect a little bit more from Jack Grealish, wouldn't you? £100 million player. Does he do enough in a Man City shirt? Mark, next poll, Haaland or Van Basten? Well, Zidane is dominating De Bruyne, so my faith in humanity is back. I'll never get over how Haaland's better than Benzema, but at least Zidane has battered De Bruyne. That's one positive. Musiala versus Pedri, says DBN, and they play City at Anfield in a few games, beat them and 5 points become 2, and with Liverpool far from their best. Frentas thinks Liverpool can get back in amongst it. Yeah, I haven't noticed Grealish in this game. I mean, admittedly, it's been against 10 men, but I don't know whether Wolves have got to start thinking about making a change. What do you think? And I don't mean subs. I mean managerial change. Have they got to start thinking about making a managerial change? Where are Wolves in the league? We'll see in a minute. Beckham or De Bruyne or Trent, says Umar. I don't do three ways. Tried them before. I'm past that. Bale versus Salah, says come on you Spurs. No. I'm doing Bale against bloody Salah. Bellingham versus Pedri, it'll be close, says Rich T. Okay, we'll try that one. The reason I'm not doing Bale versus Salah is because you're trying to get people to remember Bale when he was good 10 years ago. You can't, he plays in the MLS now. What was it? Bellingham, Pedri. Get going. Right, Premier League table I was going to have a quick look at, wasn't I? I know it went round the screen. Grealish is off. So Wolves have got 6 points from 7 games. And they're in 16th place. I think at some point you've got to start looking at the manager and saying, do they need to make a change? Because they've got good players, Wolves, and they're not performing. Giggs versus Mane, says Umar. I don't like these. I'll do it for De Bruyne and Zidane as a test case, but I'm not doing loads of them. I'm not doing players who were great from the past against players now because it will be, as we saw with Haaland and Benzema, it gets clouded by recency. Lineker versus Shearer, Thomas. Most people won't have been born or remember those two playing, especially Lineker. Corner to City. Another one as well. So De Bruyne has had 2 assists today. I put him in my team instead of Salah with Liverpool not playing this weekend. So it's worked out all right for me so far. Haaland's got me 1 goal. I can't believe what I've just read on Twitter. I think football's for everybody. That's all. That's the best thing to say. But there are levels to your understanding of football, right? So somebody just sent me a message saying, "What do you think about this?" Right? And basically, I will put it out there for our community to discuss as well. Basically, somebody has said that they always knew that Scott McTominay was a good player, and Ten Hag has got the best out of him by playing him in a midfield 2. Right. He played in a midfield 2 with Fred for the last year. You couldn't see that McTominay was a good player last year because he wasn't. The reason he's playing well this year is because he's been coached. Last year, his positional sense was abysmal, and every time he got the ball, he either passed it backwards and spent 3 seconds on it. This year, he gets the ball and he passes it forward in the first second most of the time, and positionally he's a lot better. There are people out there that think that they were saying that McTominay was a good player last year and they were right. Like, it's just, football's not for you sometimes, is it? Like, it literally is. He was terrible last year. He's been coached over the summer to move the ball quicker and position himself better. He's got no. If you said McTominay was a good player last year and he's the same player now, you're a bloody idiot. He's been coached. And he is playing well and he does deserve credit, but he's not. He didn't play like this last year because he didn't play like this last year. Barella versus Verratti, says Rich T. Bellingham is beating Pedri. I think that's because Bellingham is English and Pedri plays in Barcelona and maybe not a lot of people watch him. So I don't think it's that. I don't think 61% over 39% does it justice, really. But Bellingham wins that one. Ten minutes to go here. What's happening with the Adama Traore as well? I always felt that he was a good player. Thanks for subscribing, Gaming Junkie. He's a new subscriber from Canada. Pelly ran 100 metres in 11 seconds, says Umar. I don't understand why Adama Traore doesn't get in the team either. Look, it's not my problem to give a shit about Wolves, but I do think it's a bit of a shame that they've got some really good footballers and they don't play good football. Sancho versus Bowen, says Barry. I'll do that one. Mark, Paul Zidane versus Darwin Nunez, says Andy and Bruno for headbutting. Right, I'm definitely going to do this one. Either or, Sancho or Bowen. Gareth, it's time to get your bots going because I think this is only going to go one way. Sancho versus Jared Bowen. Get your votes in. I like Adama Traore. I think there's a player there. I do. Don't care what anyone says. I think there's a player in there. %77% for Sancho. I'm not surprised. McTominay still has no defensive game. People skill past him so many times. If he's playing well, then why aren't we keeping good possession? He's better than last year, but not great, says Sharath Math Fitness. No, look, yeah. What I'm not talking about his virtues, about whether he's good enough. I'm just saying that he has improved, and he's improved because he's been told to improve, because he's been coached better. He wasn't this. Some people seem to think that. Again, you'll get these people in life. They'll stubbornly stick with a player who's not very good, and then when that player becomes good, they'll go, "I told you he was good," but you were wrong. He wasn't good. He wasn't good. He's been coached to be good because his game is so visibly changed. And I think the thing for me with McTominay that's so visibly different is that last season he'd spend 2 or 3 seconds on the ball and then pass it sideways, and this season he's spending a second on the ball and he's passing it forwards. I mean, that's a massive upgrade on a player straight away, but that's come from coaching. Rich T, who will win the North London derby? Yeah, it's straight after the international break, isn't it? I don't know. I think it's we'll definitely do a watch along for it, but it's very difficult to predict those sort of games. Do I think Ryan Giggs was overrated? No, I thought he was a very good player. I think he could have scored more goals, but I think football was a bit different then. These Salahs and Sons and wingers that score a lot of goals. Football was different then. You played with the front two. You spent, as a winger, you were out wide and you stayed out wide. Inverted wingers wasn't really a thing either. So I think if Ryan Giggs played in the modern game, he would score a lot of goals, a lot more goals, because he was a good goal scorer. But yeah, he didn't have an amazing amount of goals compared to the modern winger. Kane versus Firmino, Mark, says Rich T. That's disrespectful to Kane. Come on. Sancho has beaten Bowen, by the way. Is one. Do you think Kulusevski will start for Spurs tonight? I don't think he will, and he's in my Fantasy Premier League team. Let me just tell you what's going on in the Fantasy Premier League as well. You might want to know where the points are going today. I can tell you who's getting the bonus points as well. So, De Bruyne's got 9 with 2 assists. So it's 3-0 Man City. God, you get -3 if your player gets sent off. Collins, you see. Right, so De Bruyne's got 2 assists. Bernardo Silva's got 1. Grealish has got a goal. Foden's got a goal. Haaland's got a goal. You won't believe this. How? Explain this one to me. I'm stunned. here. Explain this one to me, right? The bonus points, Grealish is getting 3, Cancelo is getting 2, and De Bruyne is getting 1. How is Grealish getting 3 bonus points when he scored a tap-in? What magic are they working on FPL? How the hell is Grealish getting 3 points? I'm tweeting that. I don't even think he's played well. You know what? Sometimes you'd go, yeah, but he played brilliant. Like, I don't think he's done anything. I can't believe it. I really don't think he's played well. I mean, he's not even on the pitch anymore. He's been off for the last 10 minutes. Won the red card. Do you get an assist for that? Papa John says he's been on fire today. We're obviously watching different games. Giggs was like Diaz is now. We're most wingers then. Touchline, lots of running work rate, cutbacks and dribbles. Deals probably scores more goals, says Frentas. How can De Bruyne get 2 assists and not be getting the bonus points, though? You can tell I've got De Bruyne in my team. What player now has Giggs' type pace and skill, says Umar. Luke says Mark doesn't know ball. There's no such saying. There's no such saying, mate. Nobody knows ball better than anybody. It's just all opinion. Oh, it's because he's had 4 out of 4 dribbles and 2 key passes. I don't agree, but that's how the bonus system works. Yeah, it's very. Yeah, you're right. It's very statistical. Haaland could have been 1-1. Haaland may as well score another one now. He is my captain. Have you got Anthony in your fantasy Premier League team? No, Rich, because we're not playing. We're not playing a game. Mark, Southgate versus Solskjaer, based on talent available to both as managers, Ollie should actually win that one, says Andy and Bruyne. Yeah, I think you would, yeah. I think you would. Well, I've tweeted it. I'll probably get a load of replies now. He's been man of the match. No, a lot of people saying it's because he's been one of the best players on the pitch. Go on, get it to Haaland. Get another goal for Haaland. There's still time. Then he can get the bonus points. I can run 100 metres in... You're obsessed with pace, Umar. I don't know why you do these stats about pace. You were doing it last season as well. I don't know, you know... You like FIFA 5 years ago. Obsessed with pace. Man United have got 4 5-star skillers on FIFA 23. Rashford, Ronaldo, Anthony and Sancho. I don't know whether Rashford deserves 5 stars for skills. I mean, he has got skills, but we very rarely see them. Oh, no. St Maximum's not fit for Newcastle, and I've got him in my fantasy Premier League team. That's bad news. I knew he was 50-50. He's not fit. could have done with that. So what does that mean for me? St Maximin won't play, so Veltman comes in for Brighton. Oh, God, I'm going to a back four. I've got Tony and Jesus as well. Oh no, Cucurella was in my team. I ain't got enough players. Idiot. I ain't got enough players. I made a mistake. I should have took a points hit. My next watch along, Robbo, is tomorrow at midday. Arsenal against Brentford. But I am live on TalkSport at 7:30 for the Mark Goldbridge show. 7:30 till 9 o'clock tonight. Some of the topics we're going to be talking about is the England squad and also this witch hunt around Todd Boehly and what you think about that. Plus all your calls about whatever you want to talk about as well. Are Man City too good? Nonsense. I still think there's a vulnerability to Man City. By tomorrow, Arsenal will be back to the top of the league. Only we can stop City, says Zane. I don't think you can stop City, to be honest, but you can be top of the league tomorrow. And I think Arsenal will beat Brentford tomorrow. And that's no disrespect to Brentford, but I think they will. Mitrovic didn't score yesterday, did he? Did he play yesterday? I didn't watch the guy. I only saw the goals, really. Have you seen on TikTok, there is a video of on Shrewsbury Town's page? I did, Liam. I like it. It's good. I like to see things like that. You know. They should let me come and train with the first team. Mitrovic was terrible yesterday. I didn't watch it. I mean, I saw bits, but here's Haaland. Oh, that's it now. Referee blows the whistle. So it finishes 3-0 to Manchester City. We will be back tomorrow lunchtime. It's a 12 o'clock kickoff for Brentford. Don't forget to check out the United Stand Chart Show, which is coming out this evening. And don't forget YouTube tonight at 7:30 on the TalkSport YouTube channel. I'll be live and on the radio. You can call in and get involved for the Mark Goldbridge Show. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Have a good day. We made a bloody good stream out of that, considering the game was over after 20 minutes. So, well, you could have said it was over after 1 minute. Apparently, the bonus points have changed on Fantasy Premier League. Let me just have a quick look about that. That could be exciting. They'll still go to Grealish, I think, but let's have a look. Oh no, Cancelo's took them. Cancelo's took it off Grealish. He's getting 3. Grealish gets 2. And De Bruyne gets 1. Yeah, still not I've only got 18 points. I'll get 19 with De Bruyne. I need Kulusevski to do something. I really do. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Take care. I'll speak to you a little bit. I'm on TalkSport tonight and we're back in here tomorrow at lunchtime. Speak to you in a bit. Thanks for watching.